So I just pulled up to a property that's up for foreclosure auction in 2 days. And when I say I mean we, because I turned the camera on so you can check out this property with us. We're going to take a look around this property, see if it's something we're interested in bidding on, and you're going to come with me for the entire thing. Welcome to our channel. My name's Kevin. You might know me from Two Guys Take On Real Estate. And today we're going to check out this property over here and see if it's something you might be interested in buying. A lot of people have heard about foreclosure auctions, have always thought, hey, this would be a great way to buy a cheap property, fix it up, etc. But not enough people really seem to actually know that it's more doable than you might think. So today we're going to show you a little bit about that and share with you some of our experience of going to thousands of foreclosure auctions and buying hundreds of houses this way. Let's go take a look at this place and let's see what you think. We're going to start by walking down the street and we get a little bit closer to it. Now, Matt and I have been working together for many years now, buying properties at foreclosure auctions. We have had all sorts of crazy success and really sickening struggles. And that's why we found it was, it was really important to share our experience with you, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So that you can learn from that experience. Now, we do have a book. It's called Foreclosures Unlocked. It's available on Amazon, and that's a great way for you to support our channel by spending a few bucks and getting something to show for it. All of our content instead here is completely free. So enjoy all the free content and know that if you do purchase a book, whether it's a hard copy or a audio book, it's going to help support our channel and keep all this free content coming. So right here as I'm walking up, first thing I'll notice, there's a lot of cars in the yard. This is definitely an occupied property. Where's that garage goes with that property? That's a weird fence layout. Okay. But I see like a Minnie Mouse towel in the window being used as a shade up on the third floor. Now I Zillowed this place right as I pulled up to it, and we're in Massachusetts. This house has a Zillow value of about $330,000. Now, look, we all know you can't really rely on Zillow, but it says on it that it's a two-family house, 8 bedrooms, 3 baths. My concern, and what I've seen so much around this area in Massachusetts, is that houses with this layout are often actually rented as 3 separate apartments, even though it was only set up and zoned as a two-family house. Now, that creates a real big headache for you if you end up buying a property that's occupied and remains occupied, maybe rented to tenants after an auction. Now, that means you're inheriting potentially a tenancy that's got an illegal rental apartment, and you're going to have to start sorting that out. And one of the things that makes me worried about that is seeing only 2 electrical meters. Now, there's a good chance that the second and third floor here are combined into one big apartment, and that makes a lot of sense, and that's pretty much fine. But then you still have some small details of things to worry about if you're buying a property that has occupants and maybe tenants involved in it, which is who's paying for exterior lighting and common area hallway lighting, maybe basement lighting, because that could be something that is a point of a contention when people start making cross-metering claims. Otherwise, the house has okay vinyl siding, some very small maintenance here. Looks like it has all updated windows, so there's a good chance it has been made lead safe for kids under 6. Overall, there's not a crazy amount of exterior concerns that I'm really seeing right off the bat. I do see, looks like oil fill valves over here along the foundation, one with a newer cap. One small concern is that they're still using oil heat, which not the end of the world. But the rental situation here, if you're buying this to live in one unit and rent out the other, or if you're buying it strictly as an investment property and you want to be a landlord, the concern there is a lot of tenants don't like homes that use oil heat because you have to buy the oil before you burn it and use it, and you have to buy it in a lump sum. So a lot of folks don't like that. They like the gas heat where you pay for what you use after you've used it. Or essentially, you kind of don't pay, and you maybe screw over the gas company a little bit. So we see that as a bit of a deterrent. So the nice thing you got to think about when you're coming out to a property and investigating an auction like this is, what are you going to do with this sucker? So sometimes that it gets determined by how cheap you can get it. This thing might go for $100,000 tomorrow, or on Friday, a couple days, whatever it is. And if you can get it cheap enough, you might be able to just turn around and resell it to somebody immediately. Maybe a contractor or somebody that's looking to buy a little fixer-upper project and put it on the market. And maybe you sell it to them for $150,000. Make yourself a quick $50,000 by selling it as a wholesale deal. There's lots of different options and lots of different ways to go about it. And that's why we talk to you about it so much here online as two guys take on real estate. And of course, in our book, Foreclosures Unlocked. Looking up at the roof here. Let me try to zoom in for you. Honestly, the roofing looks pretty good. Chimney, what do you guys think of the chimney? Not horrible, not horrible. But again, you can see all the windows, updated windows, very likely with the fact that the exterior was taken care of and redone, the windows have been updated. Very likely this was used at least at some point, maybe even currently, as a legitimate rental property, and doing it the right way, making sure it's made lead safe for kids under 6. Can't have that in Massachusetts. You got to make sure the kids under 6 are living in a place that's been certified as lead safe. This could be a great target for somebody that's looking to buy themselves a home to live in, and then some income from renting out another unit in it, where they could actually live in this house and it's almost all of their living expenses paid for by the tenants that are living right there. How easy it to manage that property when you have tenants living in the very one that you're in. Easy to deal with the lawn mowing. You could do that kind of stuff yourself. You're already doing it for your own home probably. Lots of different ways to do this. This could be a great target for somebody that's looking to get their start in residential rental real estate. All right, so I'm back in the truck after having taken my photos of the property, and we're going to use those photos, Matt and myself, to come up with a rehab strategy about how much it's going to cost to make this property hit its target number of after repair value. Now, if you're learning about running numbers on all of this and you've read about it in our book and you've been watching some of our content because you've been liking and subscribing to all of our stuff, you've learned that ARV, the after repair value, is a very, very critical thing to figure out, because that's where you start, and you start deducting all of the different numbers from that to come up with your bidding strategy number. And that number, it's really hard, right? You got to hold fast to that number, because sometimes you get really excited about a property, or maybe really intense in the bidding, thinking if you just go up 1,000, maybe another 1,000, you can make this work, and your mind starts playing tricks. Sticking to that bidding number is a very, very critical tip. But we're going to figure out a couple of things from here. A, what's the ARV of this property? What's the after repair value? We're not going to use Zillow. We're going to use comparable homes recently sold in the area. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back and forth about what we saw at the property, what we think needs to be remedied and resolved. And I'll note one thing that we missed, right, when we were talking about this. I said, oh, oil fill tanks. There's also gas meters, and I didn't quite notice that when I was talking to you, but there's also gas meters here. So you might have a lot of flexibility in terms of, but either what the house is already set up for or upgraded to, or what you could do with it in the future. Way less expensive to upgrade the heating systems to gas if there's already gas meters there for a hot water tank, for instance. So it's looking really, really promising. Now, because it's an occupied property, we touched on that a little bit, we start factoring in things like how to deal with the occupant situation. We don't know who's living here, but it seems clear that somebody is. So depending on what you're going to do with the property, you may need to persuade somebody to leave if they won't leave on their own like they probably should. Now, maybe that person that's living here, or people that's living here, is regular, actual rent-paying tenants. They shouldn't necessarily have to leave a home just because the ownership changed. So again, maybe you have a built-in great tenant that would love to find you as their new landlord, and maybe not the last one, because maybe the last one was kind of irresponsible and clearly wasn't paying their mortgage. We won't really know the history of everything, but it's important to realize that if there are people living here in the property, when you take over ownership after that auction, you become responsible for sorting those issues out one way or another. All right, I'm really excited about this. I hope you're hitting subscribe so you can stay tuned to see if we win this sucker. We're going to try to make sure we get you all the content from start to finish of several of our new upcoming foreclosure auctions, so you can see scouting the property, attending the auction, hopefully winning the auction here and there, and then of course from there, what we do with the house. Do we clean it out and wholesale it? Do we clean it out, renovate it, and then put it on the market? Lots of different options, and we're going to be able to do our best to show them all to you But you'll miss out on a lot of that stuff if you're not subscribed. So make sure you do that and turn your notifications button on so you don't have to wait and you get the updates right away. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I really appreciate you being here. And on behalf of myself and, of course, Matt, both of us here from Two Guys Take on Real Estate, we really appreciate every single subscriber. So don't forget to make sure you tell your friends about us as well and help us grow our channel so we can reach more of you. Thanks. We'll see you on the next online video. Take care.